I will use a wool for this project. Is number 3 and we are going to use 3mm hook. Can be any wool but soft. I am going to start securing my first stitch. And we will knit a standard size. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's measure it. We should be about halfway through of the glasses. I have placed 18 chain stitches. Let's pass on this first chain stitch and the one following. On the upside down side, I'm going to start knitting. Single stitch, I place marker. I will continue on the upside down side. Single stitch. Single stitch. And we continue with single stitch. And here in this part, I'm going to bring the strand to lose it all at once. Single stitch. To complete all chain stitches, we have to have 18 left. I have already reached the last stitch. And here we are going to throw. We threw a little bit. And we cut. Now here in this part we are going to place a second single stitch. I'm going to do, or to place a marker in the same space. Unsingle stitch. Yes, then it will be 3, 1, 2 and 3. I'm going to move on to the next space. Why you single stitch? And so I will continue to weave a stitch for each space. Once you reach this stitch, in it I will knit 2 plus 1. And 2, and I will place a marker. We are going to leave this marker. For increases, okay, then let's close here. But we are going to weave. Single stitch uno. I am going to place the marker that is the beginning. De la round. 1. And in this same space. 2, where I'm going to do the raises is going to be here. Here in this part then. What we are going to do? Well, we'll leave it at that. Let's place another marker. No way we will place the other marker on it. At number 2, you are going to place marker only on the end. There are 2 single stitches, and in the second one you mark it okay. Then we will continue. Unstitch. For each space. I have already after the marker 15 stitches, and in this one. In this one before the marker I will knit 1. And in the same space 2, and in the second one we remember to place the marker. Here it is. Our scoreboard, and we repeat 1 again. Two. And place the marker. I am going to move on to the next space. 1. 2. And I place marker yes. Then from now on you will only knit. Increase where the marker is. We continue to weave a stitch for each space. To where we have our marker. Here I have already reached where it is. The marker part up to here. In this one I withdraw it. And we are going to place 1. And 2 I place marker. In the second. Now I'm going to move on to this one that's here. And we are going to make 1. I'm going to take it well. 1. And 2. Y. I place score at number 2. Now I'm going to move on to this one. And we do 2 1 2. And place marker. And we will repeat this previous round. Let's go weaving a single stitch for each space until reaching the hearts. Once arrived to where the first marker is, withdrawal and let's weave 1. And in the same space 2 and I place marker. Next stitch. A single stitch, and where is the marker? We make an increase 1. And 2. And place marker. I will continue. Unsingle stitch. And on the scoreboard, let's weave 1. And in the same space 2. If you notice, it is very easy, because we are only going to go weaving where the pants are. The increases I emphasize it one more friend, especially for non-Spanish speaking friends, to go for the signs and rather the movements. And you can knit it, too. I'm going to get this far. I have already reached where the marker is. We are all ready. For completing this round we make 1 2. I place marker. Next. Unstitch. I move on to the next one. 1 2. I place marker. I move on to the next one. I leave single stitch and again. Here we do 1 2 and place marker. And we are going to weave the same. Unsingle stitch. To get here. And repeat the same process. Until you get the size of your lens. I have already arrived here. And I make 1, 2, and placed. Marker we knit. 1 stitch for each space. And where the marker is, we make the increase. Again. 2 stitches, 1 for each space. Y. And increase 1. And 2. And I continue to weave. 1 for each space. Again until reaching the scoreboard. I have arrived again. Where the marker is, we make an increase. I place marker. We continue with a stitch for each space. To the next scoreboard. And on the scoreboard we weave 2. And place marker. Again. 1 stitch for each space. And on the scoreboard. The increase. Well, friends have already seen how it was very easy, truth, just knitting the increases on the spaces of the volumes. Now what are we going to do? Let's make it a little bigger. Until it is the space of your lenses. Then I'm going to get a lit lead of myself. I want to show you. Make this marker, which is in red. It's the beginning of my round. So if I put my glasses here, they look good. Yes, then what are we going to do? Let's continue. It's the same thing you're going to do at home. We will no longer need these pants. So we can withdraw them. We are going to keep only this one that is here. Now we will continue. Here. Weaving single stitch. I place marker. We will no longer make increases. And we will continue. Weaving a single stitch. For each space. We will no longer place Germans because we no longer need them. We will no longer make increases. We will only be weaving. And well, let's leave it at that. This is where my marker is. Marker withdrawal. Why you solo and single stitch? I continue with single stitch. And in this case, friends, it is necessary to give, from now on, about 7 rounds approximately. Look at 1 for each space. At home. If you got to this part of the video, leave me your comment. From which country do you see me? What is your name and today's date? I would like to get to know you a little better. Complete round. I have arrived to where the marker is. And I will continue to weave. I place marker. And I start the next round. I'm going to get a lit lead of myself then, by the way. I left 7 rounds of increases and then no increases. So I'm going to go a few laps set and come back. I want to show you that I have already finished the round here. And I consider that with this is how it will look for us. Okay, now let's continue with the part of the ears. Here we are going to knit a single stitch. Let's continue. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 8, 9 y 10. We make 2 chain stitches. I will count 1, 2, 3 and 4. Now down. 1, 2 and number 3. Step. I make a slip stitch. Let's turn. We do double crochet. 4 double stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4 1 double crochet. And I'm going to pass this one as already taken. I'm going to move on to this one next and you single stitch, yes, and that's how it's going to look like in the ear part. Now I will continue. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7, 8, 9. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 14, 15, 16. Look more or less. We will stay here. 17. Let's place him 1 plus 17. 1, 2. I will turn. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here is 1, 2 and number 3. Slip stitch. A chain stitch. Start with double crochet. Let's knit 4 double stitches. 1, 4 we do double crochet. This one has already been taken and we move on to the next one. And we continue to weave and single stitch for each space. And this is how they will look on us. In this case, this part of the ears. I feel like one is higher up. I feel like one is higher up. It's not just my perception, they are the same. There it is then. We will continue to weave a stitch for each space to complete this round. Complete. Here I have already arrived. The next thing I'm going to do is cut. Let's bring our continues to make the closure. And to make the closing I am going to pass here. I withdraw my marker. So below the chain stitch. And then I'm going to go through those 2 stitches on the upside down side. And this is how the zipper part will look like. And already for this space we will be losing. Very carefully so that do not leave marking where we were losing the wool. Okay, look. We cut. Yora, we are leaving. This is how it will look like. Now we are going to move on to the part of the mouth. Okay. For this we are going to make a ring or a magic circle. And let's knit a chain stitch. And single stitch. And a chain stitch, which would be here where we are going to close where it is. La chain stitch. And weave a double crochet. Three. And at number 4, I make the color change. And within this space, I will continue to weave. 1, 2, 3. Here at number 4, I make the color change. And I continue weaving 4 in white 1. 2, 3. Y4. We are going to cut L color negro. Shooting of the starting cord, the first circle to be closed is a golden rule. Let's pull it. And once the nose is well closed, we throw the start cord back on. And ready. I will continue with the color in white. I'm going to stop by where I have single stitch and chain stitch remind me of. And on the stitch chain, slip. Now I am going to knit a stitch chain, YN single stitch, next single stitch. Look at it so that it can be seen in single stitch. One for each space. Here I close. And this is how I'm going to stay. Now we are not going to cut it, we are going to leave it here pending. Let's turn. And we are going to tie these 2 strands. I recommend leaving a long strand to be able to sew. Okay then. Here I am going to take this strand and with the help of darkness, I'm going to stop by. Here's the part of my nose. I pass this way for half of the 4 stitches. And I am going to go to this address to where the single stitch is. So, and in this case, here we can lose this strand. And we can tie. And here it is already possible to cut. Now, this is how it will look like. Yes. Okay. In this part, we can. I think we are going to sew con el color. We are not going to leave it like this with the color white. Let's see how we do with this color goes. A strand must be left. This one, as I missed it here in the middle. And here we cut it. There at home, my friend, if you got to this part of the video, leave me your comment. From which country do you see me? What is your name and today's date? I would like to know in what year you are seeing me. And we are going to more or less have half of it left. If we are going to calculate, it is better. So put it in half. And this is where we are going to stick it. Then I'm going to stop by. Here it is true that here. I'm going to pass some stitches to one side, because there will only be 2 links. There it is, I scrolled a little bit. And here. I'm going to sew. A stitch backwards. Look. And on the other side, I'm going to pass from here until you reach the other side. Friends have already left a like. I hope you can support me with that. You can also support me by becoming members of this channel. Here. Let's add another stitch. We go back to the beginning. And this is how it has turned out. And on the part here. Look how this part is going to be covered. We can lose it. And ready. This is how it has turned out. This part. And finally we are going to place him. The eye part. I am going to recommend that in this part, you post first your lenses Look, and where do you have your lenses? Are going to place the eye part. It is necessary to try that the lenses, so they are centered to make them look good. My cute, and I think I'm going to put it here. Let's see. What do you think? Leave me your comment. I think I will leave it with you. And it is necessary to glue. Here I am going to put a little bit of glue. I show you, friends, how the final result has turned out. What do you think? Leave me your comment. With this I say goodbye. As always, I hope it has been to your liking. If they liked it, help me by sharing on your social networks. And if you want more characters, then leave a like. For this video, I say goodbye. Remember to meet me as Mari Rolone. And you will see many tutorials. Mari Rolone, crochet and ready. Don't lose your Rolone. I'll wait for you until next time.